If you've been wondering why selling digital products is something everyone is talking about, this is the video you've been looking for. Because not only am I going to just say, oh, sell digital products, I'm actually going to tell you how it has actually transformed my income generation and why I think it's a great idea for anyone who has the intention to make an income online. Everyone really should be selling digital products. So if you're new around here, hi, I'm Kume. I'm a business coach, and I'm actually doing a 100 days challenge where I post the video to YouTube unscripted and unedited. So if you want to see how the journey unfolds, hit the subscribe button. My video yesterday was all about the things I miss about living in the UK. And one of the things I mentioned was the fact that I miss the logistics system in the UK because I was selling on Amazon and it was so easy to send things across the country and it would arrive within a day or two, maybe maximum 3 days. Then I moved to Calgary, Canada, and I realized that the whole system was so different. If I send something from Alberta to Ontario, it would take about 10, 14 days. And so even while I was selling on Amazon, it started to become a bit of a cash flow bottleneck. Because if I purchase items to sell on Amazon and it took 2 weeks to get to the Amazon warehouse, it would take another 2 weeks for them to unpack it before my items started to sell. It means that my capital that I've spent on this inventory was trapped for an entire month. And so for me to replenish, I needed new capital to buy as much products. Now, I love selling e-commerce physical items. In fact, let me show you my first physical product that I actually created to sell on Amazon was this journal for business women. And I created it because I was tired of seeing women carrying paper and other ugly kind of notebooks into meetings, especially when you're a successful woman. You want to look put together. So I created this journal at that time. And I marketed it online and it sold crazily. Like within the first 6 weeks, we had made about $5,000 dollars in profit on this product. But before that, I'd had to invest money, obviously, in having it designed and then having somebody print the journals before I could sell it. And so when that happened, even though I loved the creative process, and I started to try my hand at more products, creating not just journals, creating notebooks, creating like affirmation books and creating all sorts of things. We also had like different brands that we launched, including a supplements brand. I started to figure that, look, if I wanted my income to be consistent, then I had to do things a little bit different because of the cash flow issues, the logistics issues. And also it's not just easy to continue to scale a physical products business at once you get to a certain point without taking on more loans. And honestly, guys, if there's anything I hate about the way people advise you to grow a business by taking on extra debt, it's just the way they make it seem like there's no other alternative. So once I'd identified all the problems, I said, okay, cool. Now I know what I don't want to do. I don't want to take extra debt. I don't want to grow my business. I don't want to raise funds. There's certain things I don't want to do. What are my options? And while I was thinking about it, an idea came to me that if people had purchased this journal, the physical copy, and it was functional and beautiful on the inside, and they could take notes and it helped them to brainstorm, then they would be happy to buy the digital copy. So that was one of the first attempts I made at selling digital products. So I made the digital product of this, then I started to make other digital products. Now, I tell you, the product that then made it very clear, like, okay, this is definitely working was I then put together an ebook on my business. I basically put together the ebook and I said, if you want to grow an e-commerce business, this is exactly what to do. And I put it out before I ever created the ebook. And to my greatest surprise, within 24 hours, someone messaged me and said, hey, I'm interested in getting your ebook. How do I pay? I was like, oh my goodness. Now it's so crazy because I generated hundreds and hundreds of thousands at this point, and I'm not saying that to brag, but someone reaching out to me to buy my digital products that I hadn't created was amazing. And so that basically enlightened me. It just opened my eyes to the fact that digital products are a genuine way to generate incomes. I overnight in 24 hours, I created this digital product, sent it off to this lady, and she paid me $20. Guys, since that moment, which was about 4 years ago now, since that moment, I've gone on to do all sorts of things. Now, I decided to test the theory even further. And so I said, okay, I'm going to organize a workshop, an online workshop. And I basically invited a bunch of friends. I just put the word out and I said, I'm going to teach them exactly what I do in my e-commerce business to make £1,000 a day, $1,000 a day, and sell in multiple countries at the same time. And before I knew it, I put the price at something I thought was ridiculous, which was £120, equivalent to $150. So whichever country you were coming from, you would pay that price. And within like 3 to 4 days, I had 8 people sign up for that workshop. And so I realized that, oh my God, digital products are working, workshops are working. This is how I'm going to move forward. And since then, I've generated a lot of money on the internet. But this video is not just about how great digital products are. It's also about like how it changes your life. And I think for me as a mom, the major way that selling digital products has changed my life is the fact that I'm not constantly thinking of how to buy new physical products to sell, how to raise new capital. It has just given me like a new way to generate income consistently without always thriving to get debt into the door. And I see a lot of entrepreneurs who are incredible at their business, but they are always raising some sort of funding. They're always doing some sort of new thing because they need constant capital. And honestly, I wish I could stand on the rooftops and just shout to them and tell them, listen, if you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, that needs to get in extra cash into your business or just create an entirely new stream of income, you should be selling some form of digital products. You should be selling some form of educational products, knowledge-based products that allow you to monetize your experience, your skill, your expertise without putting extra pressure on your cash flow. The second thing that digital products really did for me is I became completely location independent. I closed down the e-commerce business in the UK because I realized there was no point to keep flying back and forth, trying to keep that business alive since I lived in Canada. And honestly, it was so freeing. Just knowing that I can sit down in my house and generate like half my annual salary before in a month. It's completely freeing. You stop worrying about the things like, oh, how am I going to get money to pay for that? How am I going to pay for money to get to this? And honestly, it just changes where you need to be. I've seen families who they live somewhere, not because they love that place, but because that's where their jobs are. But what if you didn't need to be there anymore because you now generate online money? Would you still live there? If the answer is no, then come on in. You need to be selling digital products. And I think the third thing for me is just being present, more present as a mother. When I was growing up, my mom was at home with us and she ran her business from home. And I loved the fact that we never had to go to daycare. We never needed people to look after us. And to a large extent, it meant that it kept us safe from just foreign activity, really. And when I became a mom for the first time, I thought, how am I going to be able to replicate what my mother gave us? That security, that presence, the attention. And at the time, I worked in corporate and it was just something that everyone around me was doing. So even though it bothered me, I was constantly trying to make it work. My child went to nursery at 11 months and I wasn't happy. I remember crying so hard the first day she went to nursery, not because I was going to miss her, because I was at work, but just the fact that I felt like I had missed something. And so digital products actually took care of that because by the time I had my second child, I was now selling digital products. I was now fully at home. I was in control of my time. And I feel like I was a better mom to him at his very early ages than I was to my daughter. I think with my daughter, I would go to work. By the time I got home to get her from nursery, I was exhausted. I'd been dealing with rubbish all day long at the office. And all we did was just hurriedly feed her, bathe her, put her to bed. But with my son, I feel like I had a lot of time to just relax and enjoy him, play with him, take him out. And that is something that I am truly, truly grateful for. That even now, as they're growing up, I am still able to just take the day off, whatever I'm doing, and attend school events and go out with them. And I know one thing, a lot of parents wish they could do that. And the reason they can't is because they haven't figured out how to generate enough income to make it possible. And if that is you watching this, you are a business person, you're a parent, you're just a human being in general who wants to make money online. I have something coming up, which is a masterclass called the Digital Income on Demand Masterclass. And essentially what's going to be happening that day is I'm going to be recording an entire course. And you get a front row seat to me recording the digital income on demand course, where I'm going to be teaching people how to forget about creating Canva templates or whatever, and just show up and use your expertise and your knowledge to generate the equivalent of your monthly salary in a day. And one of my clients, I was telling someone today that, listen, I think this is something that almost anybody can do. So one of my clients is somebody who has a thriving business. She's in the hospitality industry. And on her first simple virtual event, which I showed her how to do, she generated about $2,000. And honestly, it's so easy. Like, you just need to learn the strategy of how to use digital income to multiply your income and just make it easier for you and your family. And honestly, I think it's the best thing. So, okay, I'm done yapping. That is my shameless plug for this video. But the link to that masterclass is going to be below this video in the description. So if you listen to this or watch this and you think that it's something that is going to benefit you, definitely check that out. I think the final thing I'm going to say about how digital income just changes everything is the fact that now I work with people as a coach without ever imagining it. In fact, when I was going to university, there was really nothing like the coaching industry. When I had kids, coaching was just coming up. But now I get to work with people where they pay me to coach them and bring transformation into their lives. And even companies now pay me to come and consult with them and bring in my expertise. It is such an exhilarating experience. And I think that when I see my clients with incredible results, I see them doing incredible things, I feel so fulfilled. The kind of fulfillment I never got when I worked in corporate. And I just think it is a feeling that should be bottled. But unfortunately, that's impossible. So you need to sell your own digital products to get that feeling of just being able to help other people transform their lives and know that you're living in your purpose and you're fulfilling destiny. I think that's the most important thing. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed anything that I said, or you resonate with anything at all, be sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know what your takeaways are or your thoughts are. And honestly, it's been my pleasure being here. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.